Hello there, this is Critical from Critical Media, just taking a look at the 2024 release of the Treasury edition of Darth Vader, Black, White, and Red. This is among those anthology books you usually see around, and what we usually do at this channel is give you an idea of what to expect if you ever come across these books in the wild. So we go over the exterior, some bonus material, art and plot points, and then a brief review at the end. So as mentioned, yeah, being among those anthology series, you'll see ones for like Elektra, Batman, Superman, Wolverine, and that's the thing. At this point, a lot of these books, they can come off kind of cliche or kind of derivative. So you really do have to do something special in order for them to stand out. Now, being Vader, yeah, I'm a fan of Star Wars, so yes, or should I say an enthusiast, so yes, I do always end up appreciating Vader in books, especially when it's done right. But anywho, being a Treasury edition, it does have that somewhat plastic, somewhat vinyl kind of cover. So it's not a hardcover or soft cover. It's kind of in between. But it's a larger format than average. But anywho, just walking around the exterior, yeah, you're just kind of noticing that kind of material. Very imposing cover. Traditional spine work. Keeping that red, white, and black kind of motif going. And a very imposing exterior on the back here. Very impressive. But in terms of bonus material, admittedly not too much going on. It is what you think it is. It's predominantly just cover work. I mean, if you're going to use this format, yeah, I guess you should show off a lot of your work. But yeah, there is some impressive ones though. Honestly, throughout the book, you'll actually get more cover art throughout it. But yeah, Salvador Roca will forever earn his right as being assigned with, of course, Darth Vader after his amazing run with Kieran Gillen. Very impressive there. There's an awesome Kevin Eastman. Yeah, so if you ever wondered how Vader would look in Ninja Turtles aesthetic, I mean, you kind of already do with Shredder, I suppose. But still, it's nice to see it here. And just a surprising Tony S. Daniel on the back. I always more associate him with, DC Comics. So very intriguing to see his take on Vader as it is. But now, at least in terms of art and plot points, now, as mentioned, it's more of an anthology book. So it's not really trying to place itself anywhere specifically in canon. It's really just trying to be its own thing. Just tell these very short stories in this release. So Jason Aaron kind of gets the headline because he has the one story that kind of has multiple issues in it. This came out in 2023, so it was like a 4-issue series kind of thing. So his was like the one continuing story. But admittedly, it's the most cliche and derivative of the bunch. All these personally tend to be better than Jason Aaron's. But yeah, just some of my personal favorites. Yeah, Peach Momoko's, Grombeck and Klaus Janson. Klaus Janson will always get a hooray for me. Endless Mercy, very awesome art by VD. Victoria Ying, very awesome concept. Annihilated is probably my favorite. Impunity has one of the best written narratives. And a surprisingly well done story by Steve Orlando, who honestly, he gets a lot of stick lately for his, up and down work for the superhero genre. But I have to admit, his story in this book was very good. But yeah, the reason why I guess I'm not so much bashing on Jason Aaron. After all, he did write the main Star Wars line awesomely. It's just that this story, it kind of tackles an idea that's been tackled several times before, many times before. Just to give you 2 quick examples. Hayden Blackman during the Dark Horse Comics run, he had a story about this. And even more recently, Kieran Gillen, who was writing that story that was, releasing simultaneously with Jason Aaron's Star Wars run, also tackled this same concept and idea. And admittedly, they both did it better. And yeah, admittedly, Jason Aaron, by the time he gets to do it, by this point, it's already cliched, right? And admittedly, he doesn't do enough to make it stand out. That's why the artist, I won't bash him, Leonard Kirk, he did his job. It looks awesome. I'll give him that. So big ups on the artwork, at least in this sense. But speaking of artists, yes, we have the no dialogue story here. Very silent by Peach Momoko. It's very esoteric for a Star Wars story. Just a person who's kind of like dealing with the aftermath of Vader's, I guess, some sort of imposition by him. But yeah, so there's some really good panels here. Probably my favorite one is this one with the lightsaber. Where is it? Yes, this one. Absolutely crazy that she pulled it off so well. There's a reason why Marvel keeps hiring her. Let's just put it that way. But probably one of the most intriguing narratives is this one here by Grunbeck and Klaus Janson. Awesome narrative, awesome use of this aesthetic, because you get to pretty much appreciate all the art in this without ever it breaching any sort of, I guess what's the word? Breaching any sort of, I wouldn't say cliche, but breaching any sort of expectation. But yes, a very intriguing narrative. It has red herrings built into it. You think that they might have a chance, but as usual, I think the end of and moral of every story is despair from Vader, and the way he chooses to crush you. He doesn't try to just crush you physically, but also mentally. I love that. Very well done in that sense. Again, another issue of the Jason Aaron run. I'll just kind of brush past it. I already gave my points on it. But yes, here's that story here. Endless Mercy. So this one does play off like a horror story, admittedly, but I have to admit the artwork is incredible by Vidi, and very, very well use of this medium, this whole motif aspect. But yeah, you're just seeing it here. This threat, this very, very pulpish, very raw kind of art style, just being wetted with that red coloring, just to make everything pop properly. But yeah, it's really, really surprising work here. You are going to get pretty much par for the course kind of storytelling by the end, though. But yeah, just very imposing art all around. This narrative, I have to admit, Victoria Ying, she had a very great idea, because a lot of people forget that the Empire did actually help some worlds go from bad to good, or from bad to order, compared to before. So yeah, this town has its own problems with its own kind of local toughs. It's just nice to see the juxtaposition between how Vader can be seen as a complete demon, or sometimes as an angel. So I just use these 2 pages. From here, the kid is like shocked, to the kid is elated at the end of the story. So very intriguing. I'll let you guys read this one. It's a brief one, nonetheless. Again, here's another part of the hard shutdown. Again, I'm going to skip it to possibly my favorite in the entire book. Daniel Warren Johnson's story. I think it's called Annihilated. Awesome. Like, as you could see from the first page, everything about it just feels alive and very unique. Like, he put his own personal touch to everything. And, just like how people say, Jack Kirby had this, like, a talent for having everything feel like it's constantly moving. This book absolutely nails it, even down to this dope idea where Vader's chasing him in the TIE fighter. You see his face. He's chasing these, escaping rebels, protecting a transport. You're seeing just constant loss. You can't win against this guy. Even when you down him, he's still threatening. It's so damn good. Even this little graphic design here, using the 2-page spread, and you have to kind of flip the page or flip the book. Man, this one is definitely the price of admission. This should have been the whole book, in my opinion. Just awesome work overall. Very statuesque posing, or dynamic posing, I should say. So damn good. But now comes another surprise, more so a great narrative, and a nice little reference. The character's name is Lieutenant Sulaco. For anybody who watched the Alien movies, you know exactly where that's going to. But yeah, just a very intriguing narrative, because it starts off one way. It has its own built-in kind of red herring. You think it's about one thing, but it's actually Vader on a different kind of mission. And it's an awesome concept by the end of the story. You'll love it, the ending, that's for sure. But yeah, you're just seeing this very striking artwork. Great job overall. This one's also almost worth the price of admission. Again, the hard shutdown. I'm going to skip that one again. And yeah, the very surprising Inhabitant story by Steve Orlando and Paul Davidson. This story, like I said, Steve Orlando, he's been having his up and downs lately, but I have to admit, this story was a banger. So yeah, just he's there to conquer a world for the Empire. It's, there's no inhabitants, but it's rich of life and resources. You're wondering why. There's something actually there that nobody can see. It's this dope battle of the mind concept. Very intriguing narrative. And as you're seeing, very, very great use of this motif here as well. Dope character, dope overall idea. So, Steve Orlando, see, you do have some diamonds in the rough. But yes, there is one final story here where, it's the return to Hoth. I'll let you guys read it because it's very brief, but it's a very intriguing narrative by the end, that's for sure. And also your typical Empire outcome, nobody ever escapes failure kind of concept. But nonetheless, It's no longer about me at this point. Honestly, this was a good pickup. It's a good price for now. Hopefully it doesn't go crazy. But yeah, I give this one 2 thumbs up personally. It's a banger, that's for sure. Just, remove the Jason Aaron part. But for those of you who may not have read those stories before, honestly, you'll probably be entertained by it nonetheless. So you know what? I shouldn't give Jason Aaron too much clout for that.